Hi, I'm Lori Betts. Welcome to Golden Years. This month, my special guest is Bob Heiser from Hearing Health Center in Medina. So come on back and we're going to hear what's new in his world.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Welcome back to Golden Years. I'm interviewing Bob Heiser from Hearing Health Center. And Bob is going to share with us what's new out there so you can help yourself to hear better. Bob, thanks for coming back on my show.
My pleasure. It's been a while.
It has been a good couple years, and I'm sure with technology, everything changes. As soon as you buy the first pair, I'm sure technology is increasing and making changes.
Just like anything else, you know, it gets outdated before you know it.
It's amazing, yes it is.
But some of the things on the market now are quite exciting as far as for helping people hear better, and not so much just for hearing. Now we're helping people with balance. And hearing loss has been, people that have hearing loss, now the latest research is that it affects or can affect, start to with Alzheimer's and dementia as well. So we're not just looking at getting things louder. There's a lot of different variables now that we're looking at.
So let me start with the question right there. How does a child, an older child, say to mom and dad, you know what, let's go get your ears checked. You know, maybe you can hear, maybe there's a tool out there to make you hear better. How do you approach that subject?
That's a rough one because no one wants to admit they have a hearing loss. And until they want the help up here, you can't help them here. I've been in this business for over 25 years. I know better. Good luck with the kids. A lot of times I tell them to lay literature around the house. We offer the free hearing screening. So if you can get mom or dad into the office, or we do in-home service as well, give them the tones, the beeps for the hearing. Get a prescription fit for them. If they hear the difference, that's normally enough. You know, it really is.
That is amazing. And I guess Mrs. Jones doesn't realize what she is really missing, all the sounds.
Well, that's just it. It happens so slow. That person may have a hearing loss for 20 years, but it happens at such a gradual rate. You don't wake up and can't hear, or you'd run right to the doctor. So when we actually give these tones and frequencies back to these individuals, they're hearing stuff they haven't heard in a while. Not all of it's good. I warn the patients. Yeah. I mean, they could be in the bathroom and think they're by Niagara Falls for the first week or two. The microwaves dinging, the cats or dogs on the linoleum, just little things that we take for granted, they're going to hear. Car noises, yeah, everything.
Even just the rain. And
road noises in the car, just things that we all take for granted is huge. You know,
your refrigerator that's running 24 hours. Suddenly they
your
can
mom's
hear
a perfect example on that, isn't she?
Yes, she is. She's like, what is that noise? It's the refrigerator. It's running for life.
And that's just it.
But you just miss out on so much. So you said you've been in the business 25 years. How did you get started?
Basically, my neighbor, when I lived in Akron, was hearing impaired. The child could not get good hearing aids anywhere. And I kind of felt sorry for her. So I did a little research, and I started working with Miracle Ear. We got her fit with the product. And from there, I ended up owning the franchise for Miracle Ear, and the story went on. So now we're just in Medina. At one time, I had 5 offices.
I thought you had more than one.
Yeah, so we've downsized. That way I could pay better attention to the people that I'm focused on instead of being all over the place.
But you do go out of the county.
Oh, absolutely.
If people want you to.
Yeah, I'm licensed for the state, and so are my employees, but we've got enough business right in Medina County. We're the largest multi-line dealer, meaning I could pick any product on the market, not just one or two. And that's a lot of problems people have. If you go to ear, nose, and throat specialists, some of those doctors will get their equipment that may cost $20,000 or $30,000 paid for by a manufacturer. But what are they going to do? They have to buy so many hearing aids a month from this company to pay for their equipment. So
Oh,
it's not
sales
really,
on-
so it's kind of like,
Really?
yeah, so you got to watch. We paid for all our own equipment. I could recommend the product that I feel is best for the patient. And the bottom line, that's what it's all about.
Oh, definitely,
Mrs. Jones does not need what Mr. Jones needs, even though they may be married. Their lifestyles are different. There's a lot of different technologies out there.
And it's selective hearing too, with the husband and wife.
Well, that comes with the wedding ring in most cases,
does,
indeed.
it does.
Yes.
So I know in the past when you did my mom's ears, you were able to come to her, you brought your equipment with you, and you tested her ears, and it was just phenomenal because you could see how much of a hearing loss she does have.
See, and that's the thing. The older hearing aids just brought up everything. So if you dropped the plate, everything would be extremely loud. With the technology that your mother had, we only bring up the tones and frequencies the patient is missing. So when we give them a hearing test, they go to an office or at home, put the headphones on, and they get a series of different beeps. When I program the hearing aids, I program those beeps or tones accordingly to the individual's loss. So I only bring up what we need, not the whole spectrum of sound. Big difference on what we could do now compared to even a few years ago.
Oh, that's amazing.
It really is, because now with the noise reduction on a lot of these hearing aids, it actually cuts out some of the background noise. There's directional mics, and I'll explain all that as we go on a little further.
Okay. Well, how do you know, like you said, Mr. and Mrs. Jones have two different hearing aids. How do you know what fits better for her versus him?
A lot of it depends on the loss of the individual. If they're very severe hearing loss, they have to wear a larger and more powerful hearing aid. But the people with minor hearing losses can wear something smaller. If they're couch potatoes, they don't need anything fancy with any Bluetooth or remote controls or noise reduction or directional mics. That's not necessary. But for the people that are more active, involved in clubs, groups, church, for instance, all these extra little goodies may come in handy and make their hearing environments much more adaptable to themselves.
And that being said, because several times when my mother goes to the restaurant, she can hear all the background noise, and that's frustrating, you know, because she can't hear the whole conversation when she's looking at someone and you're carrying on a conversation because she has all that background sound. So you're saying with technology changing, that's another plus.
Even with your mother's hearing aids, she's bringing in sound from everywhere, which is perfect. That's what we need to do. But now you could put a directional mic on a hearing aid, so either hit a button on the hearing aid or on a remote control, and it'll shut off the back microphones. So it's like a bull with horns coming up. You're hearing the people in front of you better than the people behind you, which is great for restaurants, clubs, groups. You don't need to hear the person having a coughing fit behind you. You want to concentrate on the preacher.
Yeah, that's
So
phenomenal.
these little tricks really help a lot depending on the person and what they're trying to accomplish.
So what's your youngest patient to your oldest?
Oldest is probably 105, still drives.
No way.
Scares the heck out of us when she pulls in the office. It's like, run for the railing.
So she's in Medina.
Yeah, God
oh
bless
my.
her. Yeah. And the youngest is probably 16, 17. Yeah. I try not to fit children. I really don't. I'd rather send them to an ear, nose, and throat specialist. Possibly there's something else could be done, because once you start to wear hearing aids, it's a lifetime thing. You know, we do fit the kids if I've got the okay from the ENT.
Okay.
But normally I send them out. I want to make sure this is what we need to do. If there's some form of operation or something, let's do that first, especially for the children.
Well, and with the teenagers, with their crazy lifestyles now, I mean, do you see a lot of teenagers through that age bracket?
It's getting more and more. They're still in denial, just like some of the older
Good point.
people. You know, it's not going to bother me. I could turn it up as long as I want, just like when we were younger.
Yeah.
Nothing hurts us when you're
That's
in
true.
your
That's
20s.
a very good
you know,
point.
you're
Oh, yeah.
invincible. You
Yeah,
know?
you are
And
invincible.
it comes down to haunt them. I love it when I hear them go by with the loud speakers on. I turn it up. I can't hear you. Here's my card. I'll see you in a
Yeah,
year or two.
really? Oh, yeah. That
And
is
it
so true.
And the problem with the kids, now they're pushing all bass. So that boom, boom, boom.
yeah.
When we were younger, it was all treble. So we know what that does. The bass is a different whole scenario. So these kids are doing more damage than we possibly know how to fix at the present time.
So you'll be waiting for them when they need you.
Yeah, and that's the reality. And all the baby boomers, those are all high frequency losses because of the noise inducement from when they were younger, the rock concerts and all that. Same scenario, just different kind of music.
So baby boomers, like what's that trend age that you're starting to see?
I'm in the tail end of it, you know, so you're looking at the 65 age group, give right around in there. And everybody was saying the baby boomers. They're not, we haven't been swamped as much as we thought we would be. Let's put it that way. Most of our clientele are still within that 65 to 80 range.
Okay.
So we deal with a lot of the seniors, but a lot of that's due to us being in charge of all the senior centers and nursing homes and assisted living in Medina County. I've got the one girl, Amanda, you've met, and that's all she
Good
does
gal.
is go from building to building and set up and do free testing, free tune-ups, free cleanings. We've got enough of our clients in all these complexes. We keep an eye on them. So it's a benefit for them,
Oh,
the
yeah.
complex, and the children. They don't have to worry about taking mom and dad out to the office. We go there.
Oh, that's good.
So doing in-home service really is beneficial to a lot of my patients in Medina County.
And like I've always said, quality of life. So if you can have a chance to hear better, you know, be involved in the conversations, you know, be part of what's going on in the room, like bingo or games or whatever, exercise. You know, it doesn't, who cares if you wear hearing aids?
Well, now they're almost invisible, Lori. I mean, they really are compared to the old ones that we used to have to deal with. Perfect example. Let me, since I did bring
Yeah,
a
show
couple
one that we're
things
gonna
to show
take.
you. This is a basic old style standard hearing aid. It would go in the ear and it would fit in flush. The person may have controls to turn it on or off. They come with batteries. You have to replace every couple weeks. This is a standard linear hearing aid. Basically, we give the results of the hearing test to the manufacturer. They fill the prescription, put it in here, and then I've got some screwdriver adjustments that I can change the treble and bass, maybe add a little more power or take some away, or even a tone control, depending on what the client's needs are. They've come a long way from this, okay? In a minute, I'll show you some of the other ones and what we've done.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. So you're going to show us what is the latest and greatest that's out there. Come on back. We're going to take a real quick break, and then Bob's going to update what's going on.
You make me wear my bike helmet.
Taught me never to run with scissors.
And to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back to Golden Years. I'm Lori Betts. I am interviewing Bob Heiser from Hearing Health Center in Medina. And Bob is going to share with us right now what is the newest ear pieces.
Very good.
Pros and cons.
All right, now I showed you the one, the old style. We've still got these around. Everybody's seen these behind the ear units. This is for more of a severe hearing loss, larger hearing aid, okay? We still have, and everybody does, these small hearing aids that could virtually go in and you wouldn't notice it. You just basically see the tip. Even this is all old technology, okay? The newest thing that they've been playing with lately are called the RICs, the R-I-C. And that's basically what you're looking at. This has a wire going in, and then your receiver goes in the ear. So when I put this on, I'm gonna pop it over my ear, put the little receiver tube in the ear hole, and then your retention line. And you really can't see much of anything.
Okay.
The battery goes inside the bottom part. Now this isn't the only type, but this is a very popular model. Here, you can see it yourself.
It's so little and so light.
Now those are also wireless products. So like the old ones, if you had to turn the volume up here, you also had to do it here. Not anymore. Excuse me, if you hit the button on one, and you can see there's a little button on the back. It's called the program button. Normally, I set them for 3 programs. So when you first put the hearing aid on, you're hearing like your mother did, from everywhere. If you hit the button, it shuts off the back microphone. That brings that bullhorns I was saying earlier. And number 3, I usually use for an automatic telephone switch. So when they take the phone, lift it up, it automatically clicks over to that program that I have digitally formatted. Take the phone away, and it goes back to where it was.
On its own?
On its own.
Oh,
Correct.
that's wonderful, because
Yeah,
that's a lot for the senior to remember.
they can't do it, or they forget to.
Their dexterity, too.
Plus, they can come with a little simple remote control. The bottom button changes the programs, and the top, which is nice, either plus makes it louder or minus makes it softer. So you can get the volume up in stereo, because by hitting that button, they both go up at the same level or down. So there's none of this. I need to have both sounds going in together to get understanding of speech and help with equilibrium and balance problems. This is a simple remote control.
So that goes with the person even out of the house?
Correct.
Okay.
Or a lot of people just leave it for TV.
TV,
Because
okay.
the hearing aids do everything on their own. You don't need that, but it's nice to have that extra little buffer.
Well, and if you've got people living with you in the house that do not need the hearing aid, and so this way you could control the TV
You
level.
can make it at everybody's level. Just turn up your volume. This is called the streamer for the people that need a little bit more technology. They would wear this, and once this is turned on and you're wearing your hearing aids, let's say your phone is in your purse and it rings. All you would do is hit the phone button. Your phone would go right to your hearing aids and you would just talk into here. So you could be driving the car, just hit the button and start talking. You're going to hear stereo with the phone conversation. When you're done with the phone, just shut it back off. Also has a volume control on this to make it louder and softer. You could change the programs, like the button or like the one on the small remote. Also has a TV listening adapter. So if you're watching TV at home, you hit the TV button. Your TV will go right to your hearing aids. You can have other devices as far as a stereo. A lot of people like Bluetooth on their phones for music. So you've got a lot of options that we could add to. Now, I'm not saying everybody needs this, but it's nice to have the option. You also have a remote microphone. This I like for the students. I would put this on the teacher or the preacher, okay? He's given his sermon, it goes into here, it goes right to your hearing aids. So the days of not hearing what you don't want to hear anyhow are over, right?
Yeah. Or the doctor's office.
Anything. I mean, I love it for the students because they don't have to sit up front and stand out.
Yeah.
You know, because the kids, they don't really care what the hearing aids look like. I mean, if you look at some of the colors they come in, numerous, blue, red,
Really?
grays.
That is-
The kids like the red ones, those polka dot ones, bright blue ones. God bless them.
Yeah,
Hearing
really.
loss is not like it was before. All right?
Which is a good thing.
Yeah. For the people that have dexterity problems, because these things are small. It's hard to get a battery door
Oh, it
open
is,
for
it
someone
is.
who's, starting to have arthritis or that. So what they've come up with is a rechargeable hearing aid. If this is plugged in the wall, you just turn the switch on. If the hearing aids are in here at night, it charges. So in the morning, you just put it in your ear and flip the switch, which is just like a light switch. So it's either on or off. So when they get it in their ear, they flip the switch and it's on. So it'll work the whole time they're up. In the evening when they want to take a break, shut it off, put it back in the box. So they don't have to change batteries every 2 or 3 weeks. For dexterity purposes, bless you, it's a lot easier, okay?
Wow.
So things have changed dramatically. Not so much just the size and the quality of the product, but some of the better hearing aids that we're dealing with now with the digital circuits actually help with equilibrium problems. A lot of my patients come in and they have balance issues. Well, the nerve in our inner ear controls that. By us putting the proper tones and frequencies in, we can stimulate the nerve like it hasn't been stimulated. It really helps. It makes a
that
big
is
difference for some
interesting.
of the older patients. It really does.
See, technology is good.
It is. Sometimes it's scary, though.
Oh, how does it work? How does all that happen?
And I think the main thing is that it does happen. As long as we could expect that, most Americans don't care how or where they get their medicine as long as it works.
Right, exactly.
Where other countries, they want to know exactly where, who's making it. We're not like that. We just want the results. God bless us, but that's the way it is,
Now these the remote controls, that's battery operated?
Correct. It's the regular battery you get at Walmart.
Okay.
Maybe a AA, AAA battery. Something
So when
along
not
that
in
line.
use, they should probably shut it off.
Well, perfect example, this one only gets used when you hit the button.
Oh,
Otherwise, it's
okay.
not working.
Oh, all
So
right.
there's no on and off switch. When you're activating it, it functions.
Oh, that's
So
good.
you may get a year or two out of a battery, out of a remote control, or with the hearing aid, you may only get a couple weeks. So it depends on the power. What's good about the hearing aid batteries, you don't have to get them from your hearing aid dealer. You can get them anywhere. Nationwide, they're color coded. So you don't have to worry about numbers, 312s, size 13s, orange, brown, yellow, blue. Those are our main 4 colors, all right?
Okay,
And you can
all
go to
right.
Walmart, Drug Mart, anywhere and pick up a pack of batteries as long as it has your sticker, which is the color that is designated for your hearing aid, it'll work.
Okay,
So they finally did something that made life a little easier.
that's good to know.
Yeah, it is.
And then rule of thumb, if you change one battery, should you change the other
I
one?
normally tell my patients to, yeah.
Okay.
These hearing aids now, they'll beep when the battery's starting to go bad. So you could be in the middle of a conversation, you'll hear, doo-doo. You're not losing your mind.
It happens.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen immediately. So it'll do that tone or beep, and then it may not do it again for another couple hours. Slowly, it'll start to get closer and closer together. I always tell the patients, when in doubt, throw the batteries out.
Okay.
Carry extra with you, because they only go bad when you don't want them to, I promise you.
Some people, I know people forget at times. Do they sleep with these?
You shouldn't sleep with them. You shouldn't bathe with them. They are literally computers.
Okay.
I mean, I've got my laptop with wires hooked right to the hearing aids as you're wearing them. You look like a space creature. But that's the best way to do it. I've got a few patients that need to sleep with it because they're so hearing impaired.
Exactly. And if they live alone, God forbid, then they want to hear what's going on in the house.
Well, they need to hear if someone's breaking in or if the doorbell or
Exactly.
even the phone, something
Yeah.
as simple as what we take for granted, they can't hear.
Yeah.
In the last 25 years, I've only sent out 2 patients to get a nerve transplant. So everybody else, we've been able to help with hearing aids.
Wow, that's
Even
great.
those patients had hearing aids for a while, and it started to get worse to the point where we recommended they do a little research. And the results are phenomenal, but that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Most people get by perfectly well with the hearing aids. Okay?
You just have to realize, like you said, when you realize that you are not hearing 100% to the capacity that you should be hearing, that you have to face the fact and say, you know what, let's go check into hearing aids.
That's just it. When in doubt, you should at least get it checked. I've got a file full of people at the office in Medina that aren't ready for hearing aids, psychologically or physically.
Yeah.
But we give them the recheck every year or so.
Wow.
So when it does come time, whether they're ready psychologically or it's really off the chart and they want the help, I know at what rate it's dropping at. It sure is a lot easier to prescribe. I recommend anybody after the age of 50 get the free screenings, just so we've got a baseline to keep an eye on.
Oh, okay.
Because hearing loss it's not just noise inducement or aging, a blow to the head will cause it. So there's a lot of different variables. Hereditary, could be medicine. I mean, there's numerous things that can cause hearing loss. So we got to try to keep an eye on everything. You know?
So when a person comes to you and you give them the test, then when they come back again, do they say, you know what, maybe I should move forward? Or
sometimes it takes people up to 7 years to agree
No
that they've
way.
got it. It's the latest.
Oh, that is sad.
Well, it is, because the sooner the person gets the help, the more I've got to work with. Once those nerve hairs dry up, as a matter of fact, I've got a chart I'm going to show you. This is a fully functionable nerve. There's over 30,000 little tiny hairs in there. Each one of those hairs is like a piano keyboard. If you've got a bad piano keyboard, I don't care how much I hit that tone, it's not going to work. I've got to scoot over to the right or left. This particular one, as you can see, is missing some of those hairs. With the hearing aids, we try to stimulate what's left. That slows up the drying process. I can't stop it, but I can put the brakes on it. With this technology, we can do that. Before we couldn't. It was just bringing volume in. Wow. So now, depending on the manufacturer and the technology that you're using, you're actually focusing in trying to get the nerve healthier, and that is what controls our equilibrium. So a lot of my patients don't need some of the walkers and canes as much as they used to. It's phenomenal what some of these newer hearing aids can pull off. They've come a long way in the last 4 or 5 years since the last time we were together.
Okay, anything else you want to share with my viewers?
We're at the 754 North Court Street in Medina, right next to the Goodyear tire store. Office hours are basically Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
So if Mrs. Jones happens to be driving by with her daughter, can she just stop in and see if you're available?
Yeah, you're rolling the dice. Obviously, we recommend setting an appointment, but a lot of my patients come in. You know, at least we can talk a little, set another appointment. At least I could show you, give you some information. It's something you need to check out if you haven't before. And like I said, the baselines, everything's free. For the people that actually need a hearing aid, we give free trials. I mean, you've got nothing to lose or try these anymore.
Oh, definitely.
I mean,
yeah. And like I said, quality of life.
Yeah, I could program it up and you walk out of there within an hour wearing the hearing aids.
Oh, okay.
So they've come a long way. I don't have to custom order a lot of these. Now, these I still do for the people that need the in the ears or dexterity reasons because of rechargeables. So everybody's different. The hearing aid I may recommend is going to be different. Technology is going to be different. You don't need all the fancy stuff.
But it helps.
Yeah, but it's not for everybody.
And you have been very good. You took very good care of my mother.
Well, thank you.
So you know all about your ears. So thank you for coming on my show today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it.
No problem. And Mrs. Jones, if you have an issue hearing, you should just take a moment and either call Bob's office or have your daughter or son call and just try it. It's not going to hurt. But like I said, quality of life is so important. Thank you for joining us on Golden Years, and we'll see you next month.